Last night, the Ottawa Senators played a home game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, wherein they lost 6-4. Final score, that's it. Nikita Kucherov had 5 points on the night. Good on that guy for going out there and boosting his own Art Ross chances for this year. And the Sens had multi-point games out of Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson. Brady had 2 goals and an assist. Sanderson had 2 assists. He then had a bunch of other guys going out there and getting points too. It was a pretty high goal-scoring affair between both the Lightning and the Sens. Here's the thing that I'll say about Ottawa before we get deep into the nitty-gritty details of this video. Sure, the Sens are 4-6-0 right now. Have they been amazing in this NHL season? Not particularly. They are literally last in the Atlantic Division. But if you watch these games and you see how they're losing, is it fair to say that on some nights the Sens just aren't getting the bounces? I'd say that's honestly pretty fair too. Like, there have been a bunch of teams that have been screwed over time in and time out by bounces, by bad calls, and sure, every team's fan base is going to complain about that. But with the Ottawa Senators, with them being so far down in the standings, and admittedly not playing the worst hockey we've ever seen out of them, I feel like it's totally not that irrational to say, yeah, they kind of deserve a better fate than being last in the entire Atlantic Division. I mean, to be honest, this Atlantic Division this year is really competitive anyway. Like, the Buffalo Sabres are tied for third last in the entire division, and they are still at 500. So, pretty stacked division this year, not gonna lie. The Sens have been losing games. It's frustrating. The fans are frustrated. It's a Canadian market. You know how it is. And yesterday, after the 6-4 loss, you had the Ottawa Senators actually get booed off of their home ice by the fans. There were chants going around saying, "Fire the coach." There were the booings towards the end of the game. And this is what Brady Tkachuk went out there and said about this situation after the fact. Whenever you don't win, it's frustrating. And it's also frustrating the constant booing and the BS, kind of, from the crowd tonight. It was, I understand they're a passionate fan base. I love it. But when you face adversity, you don't turn your back on the guys out there. We're playing hard. I know it's frustrating, but we're not giving up out there. We're fighting to the very end. And the first reply from Andlauer Season says, "Stop the dump and chase then." Okay, we could talk about the critiques on the Sens game in another video, but in this one, what I wanted to do was go over how Brady Tkachuk literally called out the fans for booing. He's essentially saying, hey guys, stop booing us. Like, what do you want us to do? We're trying. We're playing hard. It's frustrating for all of y'all, I get it, but stop the booing. Be with us. Don't turn your back on us out there. And to this, I say, what in the world is going on here? We already made a video a few weeks ago talking about Matthew Tkachuk, the brother of Brady and a former Calgary Flame. We talked about his comments in regards to playing in Canada and how, in his perception, it was a really big deal how guys like Marner and Matthews, who are in the Canadian spotlight, are always in that spotlight. And Matthew Tkachuk was on the record on The Athletic saying, yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do that. Like, I'm totally fine living a low-key life here in Florida. I don't want to be the main center of attraction. I don't want to be microanalyzed by everybody, because Canadian markets go out there and do that to their players, right? So we already talked about that a few weeks ago, and now today, playing for an Ottawa Senators team that's literally last in the Atlantic Division, Brady Tkachuk gets ticked off when the fans start to boo the team. Now, admittedly, this was a lot of booing. Like, they booed the Ottawa Senators off the ice. That's a pretty big deal. That happens sometimes in Canadian markets, right? You see the jerseys thrown, you see the crowd booing, you see the GM get fired the next day. GM's already stepped down here in Ottawa, so it's a little bit different. But I can't shake off this feeling that these comments are really, I don't want to say ill-informed, not misinformed, that's the wrong word. They come from an interesting place. Because all of a sudden, the face of your franchise, your literal captain, is going out there and condemning the fans for doing what it is the fans want to do. These hockey players are making millions and millions of dollars to go out there and play their dump and chase hockey. They're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to be last in the Atlantic Division. Do they have the right to go out there and tell the fans what they can and cannot do when the fans are the ones spending their hard-earned tip money on season tickets or upper-lower bowl tickets? These fans have the right to do whatever they want. And for a team that has been so frustrating the past few years, every year we're promised hope from the Ottawa Senators. Oh, they're going to be good this year. everybody's going to take a step up this year. Sure, you're seeing guys taking steps up. You're seeing players getting better. You're seeing the process working itself out. But what are the results on that? They're still last in the Atlantic. They're still finding ways to lose these games, and they're still not looking amazing in the process. Sure, I'll give the Sens a benefit of the doubt. They are playing hard. Sometimes. They are going out there and probably deserving of a better fate than being last in their division. But don't tell the fans what they can or cannot do. Are you serious? Like, it might be a little bit daunting to be in that environment. You know, you're playing your heart out, you score 3 points, you score 2 goals and an assist, you lose the game, and as the captain, you want to take responsibility of that, but you're getting booed off the home ice by fans. Like, sure, I could understand that feels uncomfortable, but what's the response here to go out there and label the fans as the problem? There's like no self-awareness here that the Ottawa Senators have been a product for years that Sens fans have been disappointed in, and after all the promises, things just don't go their way. They have the right to boo, man. Are you kidding me? There's a pretty big lack of responsibility here, I feel, from the Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk to literally label the fans as the problem. Isn't that like the #1 rule in business? Don't blame the people, blame yourself? That you can't control the masses, you can't control the people. What you can control is how you or how your own products perform and operate. Therefore, it's up to you to create a product that is satisfactory to the people and therefore earning of that trust, respect, and cheers. The Ottawa Senators scored 4 goals yesterday. And every single one of those goals had fans cheering their heads off. Hey, the Sens are coming back. You see the flow chart of the game. You see how the game went. Brady Tkachuk scored the first goal of the game. Guess what? The fans were cheering then. And then in the third period, when they were trying to battle back, back and forth, Claude Giroux, Point, Tkachuk, etc., there were some cheers in there. Sure, the team got booed off the ice towards the end there, but there were cheers. You gave this fan base a reason to get out of their seats and cheer when you scored the first goal of the game, Brady Tkachuk. And that was taken away when the team succumbed 3 goals in the second period to Braden Point twice and Essemion once. So, like, there's such a disconnect, I feel, with the way Brady Tkachuk worded this comment and the way he's trying to get the fans to be on his side instead. Like, oh, how could you feel that about us? Oh, we're trying our hardest out there. Yeah, but it's not working. You still lost. That's not the fans' fault. The fans can express their displeasure any way they want. That's how this thing works. If the fans don't buy tickets, then you don't have a job. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Brady Tkachuk calling out Sens fans and telling them not to boo at their home games? It's going to be a moot point because we know fans are not going to listen. Like, of course, fans are going to boo whenever they want. It always happens. You see what's going on in Toronto? Those fans boo all the time. It's a thing that happens in sports. And I don't think it's up to the players to be able to judge or tell the fans when it's not appropriate to cheer or when to boo or whatever, just because it hurts their feelings. Like, at the end of the day, you are the product. You're the hockey team. You are the guys that are supposed to go out there and provide the service to the fans, the entertainment value, and it's not entertaining when you're losing. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Ottawa Senators and the Brady Tkachuk comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.